Those who rewrite history in their own image are doomed to recreate the history they did not like. Good evening and welcome. I'm your host, Stuart Blanchet, and this is another episode of Giles Tenderworth's Monsters in the Dark. Episode 28, Lilith. It is difficult to track down the origins for a great many creatures. Records, both oral and written, can easily become lost or taboo and destroyed. Ancient deities have been known to change their shapes, their very purposes, in order to retain a proper following. Even the Lodge's records are not immune to these attritions of knowledge. The only thing we can offer is our best, although be wary, because all history is read through tinted glass. We are quite certain, for example, that Lilith, as she was depicted in the Bible, was an appropriation of a much, much older deity. As far as we can tell, Lilith was once the Night Mother, goddess of moon and stars. She protected night births from the wild monsters or creatures that lurked in her shadows. She was a winged deity, capable of a great deal, with power comparable to that of the sun itself. As many before her, when her worshippers fell, she travelled, some say to the Americas, others the Mediterranean, yet others the distant north. Regardless of where her feet brought her, she was at some point offered the temptation of eternal life, which she already had, and immortality through memory, which is something that every old deity covets. But as with all such temptations, this one came with a price, one which she did not at first see or understand. Time passed, and for a while things were good, before the first signs started to show. Her many most beloved children became disconnected of her and became vulnerable to the twists of evil. Then her partner in power tried to shift their balance, and she refused. Thrice she denied him, and thrice he became angry. But she was once a goddess, and she knew her place in the universe, and she certainly knew her own mind. These denials angered the other, who began destroying Lilith's children, an act which ushered in a long age of death. In a land of a child for a child, the rivers ran red with blood, and the desolation ran deep. But she noticed at some point that the death of her children affected her far more than the death of his, and thus, war-weary, she called a truce. This was not a surrender. The truce was made, and Lilith began rebuilding her children, but the many years of war had taken their toll. Her children, whom she loved, and who loved her in turn, wanted revenge on behalf of their mother. And she, far too tired of the killing, did no act to stop them. She remains, as she has always been, a goddess of life, shadows, and secrets. She will tempt any man or woman with the possible intent of seeking a child that might bridge the gap and help heal the ancient grudges. She is a creature of life, loving all life, especially the downtrodden or those that are forced to lurk within her shadowed embrace. She may wish to heal the world, but make no mistake. Lilith is a goddess of power and poise, and woe betide any who might deny her or worse corner her, for her wrath may be quite substantial. But at least our children are safe from her, for she has long since lost their modest taste. So fare thee well into the dark. Be wise in your avoidance of temptation, and offer something in return. Take not the vindictive warrior's path, and, as you can, be humble. Respect those around you, or you may doom yourself by your own course. Until next time, I am your host, Stuart Blanchet, and I thank you for joining us for this episode of Giles Tenderworth's Monsters in the Dark. Please take the time to like and subscribe to our channel, and do check out our Kickstarter, already 2/3 of the way through. Until next time, dear watcher, good night.